now.
Yeah.
One game under the belt.
Yeah.
Some of the boxes are starting to get ticked off here, aren't they?
Exactly, getting the rust kicked off. No more summer hockey. Can actually hit some guys and have a little bit of structure, and it's amazing no matter how hard you skate all summer. Once you got a guy yelling at you with a whistle in his mouth, all of a sudden everything ramps up.
Yeah, we still talk about your first camp with the Jets and
Yeah.
you having to kind of rein it in a little bit. So, I mean, do you have to restrain yourself during the first 2 or 3 practices before you put the body to somebody?
Well, I'm kind of glad we didn't do an inter-squad scrimmage this year, because I think I've gotten yelled at the first 2 years for hitting somebody or doing something. So I think this year too, like, there's a fine line. 6 preseason games, is it too much? Is it not enough? You just want to really feel good with the puck. You want to feel good getting that chemistry. I think especially for some of us veteran guys, where we're playing with some young guys early on in camp, which as I think is such a great thing about hockey, is the culture of kind of sharing that wealth and growing, these young kids along. And I think for all of us too, as preseason goes on, now we got game 3 tonight, and before we know it, it's going to be October 11th, and we're going full bore. So ramp it up every day.
You mentioned scraping the rust. There wasn't a whole lot of physicality in Edmonton the other night, so is that something maybe we see a little bit more of in the second game of the preseason, or is it still too early for that?
Well, I think there's a fine line too. You don't want to get injured too in the first couple ones before it gets real. But there's definitely the reads you got to make, and for myself personally, the penalty kill and being hard to play against in front of the net in the corners, all that stuff. You got to get the rhythm back for that. So I think a big part of my game too is just making sure that you're kind of being smart with it all, letting the game come to me a little bit more, and every day I've just been feeling better and better.
You mentioned the young guys. It must be tough for them sometimes to see these 6 spots look like they're taken. So what do you say to guys like Ville or Logan who are trying to somehow crack it?
Well, I think whether you're on a 8-year deal or you're a young guy coming up, I think you're always got to be on top of it. I think that's why I work so hard in the summertime. That's why you come into camp in the best shape you can, and try to really just continue to build on your game. I think that's the one thing about a lot of the guys in our locker room is every year we're trying to get better, and we're working on things after practice, before practice, and for the young guys too. I think all of them, they're trying to get better every summer as well, and just kind of building the depth of the organization. There's going to be we've already had some injuries in camp that have happened, so you never know when you're going to get your opportunity. And for those guys, that's kind of just the message you want to relay to them.
And those two are so opposite too, in styles, right? I mean, you couldn't get more dramatic ends of the spectrum. What do you see in them as the years have gone on here?
Yeah, I think for Ville, again, a lot of offense, highly skilled. A little water bug out there that can buzz on the offensive blue line, and if I'm him, I'm watching everything that Josh Morrissey's doing in practices and games, and trying my best to emulate it. And I think for Stan, big guy, moves well, and has been finding better and better ways to affect the game with his stick, with his size, and I've been doing my best to just kind of to coach him along too, and just share some of the the experiences I've had, and hopefully we can kind of just those guys can continue to learn and get better every day.
So he should be watching you.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
So the guys Dylan Samberg kind of nailed down a spot last year.
Yeah.
What did you see in his progression as the year went on last year?
Well, Samby, just a young guy that came in with a great attitude, and kind of just was wanting to learn and get better every day. Kind of similar to a lot of the young guys, and I think for Samby's game, he knows when he's just simple, moving pucks, using his size, and someone that I think both of us we really vibed off each other. Talking amongst the year and little instances in plays, both bigger lefty guys, and I think for his game, he just kind of took it. He was in a bunch of different roles, evolved on the penalty kill as well, and for all our back end, we have a lot of fun together, all 6, 7, 8 guys, which I think makes a lot of fun coming into work every day.
Rick's talked a lot about you guys needing to be harder to play against, bringing in Nino and Vladdy especially. I mean, what did you learn about Vladdy as a teammate that you didn't know from him as an opponent?
Well, just such a versatile guy. I think he can play up and down your lineup, first line, fourth line. He's going to be able to contribute, special teams as well. Just that guy that can elevate in the lineup whenever, and he's got some bite to him too, which you love to see. And I think for our group with Nino, with myself, with Laus, physicality is something, but it's just knowing you've got your teammates back. And I think seeing when guys play with a little bit more confidence, when they can play with a little bit more swagger, they're going to be more comfortable out there to be able to do their best. And think for Vladdy, he came from some great cultures in Tampa. You know, he's kind of learned how to play the right way from guys like Stamkos to their third and fourth line, you know, checking players. So to just bring that experience he's got as well as his skill and work ethic has been a really welcome part to the lineup.